I, Lalhare Murarinath Sadev, welcome you all students of Standard 7 to a patriotic poem today. This poem is Birdie Will You Pet. This poem has been written by W. A. Lingam. He was an Irish poet. Is also applicable for him. He is an Irish poet. In this poem, he has tried to infuse a kind of fervor for the feelings of a nationalist. And this is the reason that he is very close to an Indian poet who has written हम पंछी उन मुक्त गगन के पिंजर बद्ध न गा पाएंगे. We find that there is a great similarity between this poem, Birdie Will You Pet, and हम पंछी उन मुक्त गगन के. What is the main characteristic of this writer? That he tries to be very cohesive in his expression. He has written many poems, lyrics, and composed many good ballads. His freshness, his clarity, and his cohesion, they all are most praiseworthy. When he writes, when he composes a poem, he composes with all sincerity. He tries to be very lyrical, and to be lyrical, he uses some poetic devices like alliteration, somewhere some kind of parallelism, and in this way he tries really to convince the readers, the reciters of the poem in a very convincing manner. In this poem, he has put up some arguments. In truth, this poem is colloquial to some extent. The reason is that the baby wants to allure this small bird, but the bird doesn't want to come in the verge of this small baby. We find that even if this baby tries to give some reason why should this small bird be her pet, why should she remain indoors in her house, this bird is not getting convinced. She tells Birdie, Birdie, will you pet? Question is, why will that bird be a pet? The reason has been given by this baby very well. Summertime is far away yet. If summertime is far away yet, which time is it? It is winter time. Winter time when a creature needs some outward coverings which can make that being cozy and comfortable. For that reason, she promises here that she will give that small bird silken quilts, a velvet bed, and a satin pillow. All these three words, silken, velvet, and satin, are different kinds of clothes. Silken, is made up of a silk, very soft, shiny. In the same manner, satin is also smooth and shiny, very comfortable cloth. Velvet is a bit thick in comparison to these silken and satin. This is thicker one. But that velvet is bed, that bed is made of velvet, so it will again be very cozy and very comfortable to that baby bird. In this way, what we find that this child wants to allure this baby bird, saying that it's winter time and this bird will need, or this bird needs some kind of coziness, some kind of covering, and for this reason, her silken quilts, velvet bed, and satin pillow will be very helpful to her if she gets ready to be her pet. We find that the logic which the child has given, that is really very convincing. She is a very good host. That's what she appears at the first sight of this quatrain. But how the birdie responds to her that question, whether she would be her pet or not, that is again remarkable and one should pay attention to. See the next quatrain. I would rather sleep in the ivy wall, though rain comes through, though I hear it fall. This body tells that even if it's winter, she doesn't want to stay in the bed given by that small baby. What she prefers? She prefers the ivy wall. What is this ivy wall? This ivy wall is that wall which is covered with ivy plant, ivy creeper. This ivy plant happens to be very dense. Its huge leaves don't allow any water to come down. And for that reason, the bird is quite convinced that she would be well protected if she stays there, if she sleeps there on or in the ivy wall. Neither she would have any worry for any kind of cold wind, chilling wind, nor she would have any kind of problem about the water. Even if it rains, not a single drop would go and make her wet. So she prefers that ivy wall, the ivy wall, to the velvet bed, silken quilts, and satin pillow. And what is one more comfort there in living somewhere in ivy wall is that just as it gets the dawn, just as the sun starts coming on the horizon, the bird would wake up, it would feel very happy, and then would start singing, chirping, and then it would go out of the place. It would take up the unmeasurable sky where she would fly without having any kind of disturbance in her flight. She would go to any height. She would enjoy the real benefit of her wings, which have been given to her by the Almighty God. This is quite clear, children, that the bird wants freedom. She doesn't want to stay in the cage, even if this cage is made up of gold, or even if it may be very costly. That's what we find in these two quadrants. A kind of question we find in the first quadrant, and the answer has been given to this baby by this small bird. When she tells that she prefers to stay somewhere inside the ivy wall and would like to leave that place early in the morning for her another place to search out any new vista for her life, new journey, for new search, for novelty, and for some kind of achievement. The child, that is small baby, again wants to know something more than this. What we find in this third stanza. Oh birdie, birdie, won't you pet? She tells, oh birdie, won't you like to stay with me? Won't you be my pet? If suppose you don't need that velvet bed, satin pillow, and silken quilts, I am ready to give you something more. And what she wants to give next? She says, we will buy you a dish of silver freight. Children, freight here means wire, very thin wire like thread. We will buy you a dish of silver freight. This small baby wants to give some strong, robust kind of allurement. What she said that she would give silver, she would give a dish made up of silver wire, silver thread. And not only that much, the cup which she is ready to give to her, that would be made of gold. It would have that golden color also. And an ivory seat, that seat which would be made by the teeth of the elephant, that seat would be given to her. Not only that much, a red carpet, and carpet soft beneath your feet, very soft carpet would also be given to her. That's what this small baby wants to offer to the bird. In this stanza, this child is ready to give silver made dish, silver wire made dish, golden cup, ivory seat, carpets beneath her feet, and in this manner, this small baby thinks that the birdie would definitely think of the benefits she is getting and would stay with her. But again, the bird has something different in her mind. She doesn't want the bondage, the slavery at any cost. Even if she is kept in a cage made of gold, she knows what is the impact of that cage. She knows that even if the outward cover is very costly, but she would have to remain there indentured. She would have to stay there as a slave. And slavery is not acceptable to this small bird. So, how she responds to these allurements offered to the child by this bird you see here. Can running water be drunk from gold? Can a silver dish the forest hold? She asks, even if a gold cup is given to this bird to drink the water, is it possible that this golden cup would be able to hold the running water of the river? Can a river be contained in a cup even if it is made of gold? The second thing what she says, that even if the dish is made of silver, silver thread, silver wire, but is it possible that this silver dish will have the forest on it? Because this bird wants to move from one place, one tree to the other. Is it possible to get this benefit there in the cage where she wants to keep her? At the same time, a rocking twig is the finest chair. If she wants to give the chair made up of ivory, made up of the elephant's teeth, will that be equal to the rocking twig, which is like a swing where the bird sits there and then enjoys the air of the swinging? It's not possible. At the same time, is it possible that she would have the softest paths which she can get in the air available nearby in her house or in the place where that small baby wants to keep this small bird? So since these things are not possible, neither a gold cup hold the running water, nor a silver dish can have a forest, nor the ivory chair be equal to the rocking small branch of a tree, nor there will be any kind of the soft path of the sky which is unhampered, which is disturbanceless. So the bird wants to say goodbye to this baby, to this small child. She says goodbye, goodbye to my lady fair. She says, oh beautiful lady, oh small baby, I bid you goodbye, goodbye. I won't stay here with you anymore because freedom is something very dear and that's what I want. In this way, children, this poet W. Ellingham has tried to tell you the importance of freedom. You know it that your great forefathers sacrificed a lot for getting the freedom from the slavery of the colonial power. You also need to get freedom from any kind of dependence upon anyone. You are supposed to elaborate your mind and heart so much. You have to work hard so much, like APJ Abdul Kalam and other writers, that you may bring some goodness, some comfort for yourself and to your family members, and then to your locality as well. This poem gives this moral. This poem wants to inculcate one thing in all of you, that freedom is something very dear. Freedom is something very dear, even in its name. And if it is really enjoyed, then nothing can become comparable to it. One poet has written, Ah, freedom, there is something dear even in thy name. Ah, freedom, there is something dear even in thy name. So this is what you have to understand, that one has to be independent and one has to do a lot for getting this independence. Independence doesn't come of its own. Everyone has to remain in bondage for some time. But if he works hard, if he gets well educated, if he knows the importance of freedom, if he works for it, if he studies well, then he really gets this freedom in true sense. Now, children, you have to get the freedom for your life also, so that you can have a free flight to any height in the sky. It's all right. We will see each other again. There are some questions below this poem. It is expected that you must try to answer them. And if you have some problem, then again, I'll see you in my next video. Bye for the day.